You see that blue tail right there? That means they're feeding. That means they are fired up and ready. What's up, everybody? Welcome to today's video. I am here with my longtime friend, Dolphin Hamilton, and my new friend, Joe Komyati. Joe just won the 2019 KBF Open here in Flagler County, Palm Coast, Flagler Beach, Florida. And Dolphin won the championship, which is the year-long championship culmination of our challenge series, and took home a little bit of cash, and both of them took home some hardware. But what we're gonna do now is we're gonna go back out on the water and try to duplicate the patterns that they use to win those events. So we're chasing some redfish, Flagler County, Florida. Here we go.
Let's find some fish.
Oh, nice red.
Nice, Joe.
Beautiful fish. Nice redfish. Spots on him.
That's a flounder. Yeah, so both eyes on the top side. You can, if you're cleaning them, you can get 2 fillets off the bottom and 2 fillets off the top side. This one we're gonna put him back in the water though. I'm gonna go ahead and release him. Let's go get another one. That was a good size. I mean, they can get real big, but that's I'd say that was better than average.
Right now we're at a little spot yesterday that I pulled out like 16 flounder out of during the tournament. It's like a big intersection of like 6 creeks that meet here, and there's like a 8 to 10 foot hole right in this section right here that these fish usually just hold up in. We're here a little bit early. Like once the tide changes and they get some current over this, it'll usually fire off. Another little small redfish. Oh, look at the tail on this one. Come here, check out the spots on this. So, usually on a redfish, you'll get 1 spot in this area here. And what that is a lot of fish will attack fish at the eye, at the head of the fish. So the spot on this fish is more designed for a deterrent. So when they attack it, they attack that spot because they think it's an eye, and they grab the tail of the fish and he's able to still swim away. But rare do you get more than 1 spot. It's usually just 1 spot, maybe 2. So when you get something, like a 3 spot or something like that, it's going to be a really beautiful fish when he gets bigger. Somebody's going to be very ecstatic when that thing's 20 and 25 inches to have those 3 spots on him. It's a beautiful little fish. I caught one the other day that had 11 spots on it, littered all over its side, which very rare you catch those. I mean, you get 1, 2s often, but 3 spots or more is pretty cool fish. I got to go back over in that one spot. So they're sitting right here between you and me. They're right in this trough right here.
Yeah.
Like this trough, and then there's a big oyster right there. And they sit right in this trough. Go back over here. That quick. He'll grow up to be a beautiful fish. Blue tail, eating a lot of shrimp. See that blue in the tail? The bluer the tail, the more shrimp in their diet. So that's a big, you know, that's how you know what you're gonna catch them. You get tails that are really red, they're eating fish. When the tails are blue like that, they're eating more shrimp-based diet. Oh, this is a beautiful fish. I think he's got 7 spots on him.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, look at this. So basically we just got ourselves about a 12 to 13 inch red with the 4 spots. So usually you find them on the tail. This one you got them down the body. It's just a very unique fish. So when this fish gets a lot bigger, somebody's gonna definitely have a really nice fish. You can see on the other side, it's totally different. On this side you only got 3. So 3 on that side and 4 beautiful spots on that side.
So yeah, I'm gonna have to cut it a little short today. I've got to make a 4-hour drive back home, and after a weekend of fishing, I'm gonna see about going to see the band fish tonight to finish the weekend off.
All week that I've been fishing here, this has been a really good trout hole. I've been able to pull good numbers out of this one spot right here alone. And just now, I got this guy right here. It's a nice, about 16-inch speckled trout. He's about to jump out of my hands. So this is what you're looking for wintertime down here in the Palm Coast area, Flagler beaches. You get these nice holes and these trout holed up in it. And you can pull them out by the numbers as long as you find the right hole. So we're gonna let this guy go. There he goes. So basically when you're fishing for these guys, you wanna, this time of year, you really wanna focus on these big potholes because these trout will just lay up in them. And when the bait runs over and drops into the hole, they're just sitting there waiting for it. So kind of didn't hit this zone during the tournament just because I knew most of the fish I was gonna catch out of this little area right here was just gonna be trout or flounder. But today we're having a good time, so we're gonna pull out everything we can catch. That's the same jig I used all week. One jig head, different soft plastics, but basically that's the pattern down here, right there. That was a good fish too. I saw him hit all that bait that came through. So that's the only reason I cast it there. And basically as soon as it hit the water, he was on. Yeah, I did that. I pulled that redfish out right there this morning. So you never know. The fish they're in the same areas. They hang out together. But this time of year, the trout drop in the holes and the redfish will sit on the outside. So you can catch both your fish kind of in the same area.
Oh, there we go. That's trout.
You catch them on the outside or the inside?
Right there on that point.
On the point?
I'm about to tuck in here where I can cast the right way. I knew they were there, so I made a long cast just to see before I reposition. I saw that hole when I came through, so I was gonna wedge up right there and throw towards it. Not all the way to it, but the flat on this side of it. There we go. Speckled trout. Or more correctly, a spotted sea trout. Or a speck as they're known by most people in the South.
Yeah, he's got a hole.
There we go.
He'll pull.
Look at that.
He'll be able to pull
Freaking mackerel.
20 or 30 out of there. Look at him blowing up on the bait. Right there on the corner.
Calm down, dude. A bluefish. You don't see them here much.
You got a blue?
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
and he got my bait.
I got more if you need it.
These things are annoying. Yep.
What color was that one?
That was that gold.
Oh, with the gold bottom?
Yeah.
Here. Now we're gonna head back to an area that I fished during the tournament that held my bigger fish. If you can see in the camera, it's basically that back wood line is what we're gonna be fishing right along the golf course. There's a lot of cut throughs and back little bays that these fish are held up in, and now that the tide's dropping out, they're gonna swing right out to the mouth of those, and we should be able to catch the bigger fish.
So we've got redfish, purple fish, and speckled trout. We've got bluefish, and of course we're obviously going to catch some green fish. So we got redfish, bluefish, greenfish. I mean, it's like a kid's book out here. Now let's just catch another fish. Oh, there he is. Oh! Here's the one thing that's cool about this place. If you lose a fish, it's not that big a deal because you know you're about to catch 20 more. If you're looking for a place to bring family or somebody to get hooked on fishing, oh, there he is. This place is, put it on your list is all I'm saying, because it's nonstop action. As soon as the tide starts running, we got out here early, and it was a little slower because the tide wasn't running, but as soon as that tide starts running, they turn on the conveyor belt, and you could fill up a football stadium full of those.
There we go. I think that's a nice redfish. That's what we're looking for. Oh, there we go. That's a nice fish. Better quality. "19 and a half inches. It's a decent fish. Still not the big fish we're looking for, but a lot better than what we were catching earlier today. So he's a lively little guy. Come here. A lot better fish. Like that school was usually like right off the edge of this little palm ball here. If I didn't spook them all. There we go. That's another one. Oh, he's off. He came off. He came off. Oh. Oh. That was a better fish. That was a lot better fish. All right, we're gonna go put you in this canal up here, and we're gonna hopefully they're gonna be there.
Usually once they start waking like that, they get right up on the bank too.
Yeah, they'll sit. Like I said, this trough is. When you get further up, you'll notice that the bank's only like a quarter, like 6 inches deep, but the middle is like a foot to 2 foot, and they'll just lay right in that trough, come up, smash the bait, and then go right back in the trough. Like I sat here on Tuesday and just watched what they did, so I knew how to fish them. And when they blast the bank, throw right in the center when they come back off, and that's when they'll eat it. Yeah, you're gonna get right on the other side of that tree. From there back to the corner is like the best area. That's where I caught most of them.
They're basically tailing and pushing these mud minnows out.
Well, I sat right here. The water level was a little lower, so when they would come to me, I'd throw at them, but then they'd see the kayak and they'd push back, and there's nowhere to go, so they would end up coming back this way anyway. So you just have to sit and wait for them to come back out. There's like the one canal that goes to the right ends up in a mud pocket. When it goes to the left, it goes down 50 yards, and there's a big oyster bar at the end that blocks everything down there. So there's really no, once you get them in here, there's no way out for them to come but this way.
There he is. Oh, it's a multi-spotter. Pretty dude. All right, so that's what we came here for. You see that blue tail right there? That means they're feeding. That means they are fired up and ready. And one of the unique things about redfish is they get these multiple spots. The spot's a false eye on the tail that helps them survive when they're young. But, you know, there's an anomaly that causes them. I've caught them with a couple hundred spots, but it's really, really rare. Always pretty, always exciting, always cool. And it just gives them a little unique identity. And what's cool is if you ever fish a particular area long enough, you can catch a fish with the same spot pattern and you know them, and you'll catch it again a couple years later and have the same spot pattern, but it'll be 2 inches bigger, which is pretty cool. Look at that tail. Look how brilliant blue that thing is. That is crazy. So might be a few more back over there. So let's get this guy back in the water and get him out of here. All right, so let me show you what I caught this fish on. Basically, I caught it on a jig head that actually Joe gave me from his Striker Jigs company. And then this is a Slayer soft plastic paddle tail. Pretty common, a lot of companies make them, but what you're looking for is in this water with a little bit of stain to it, and there's mud on the bottom. These fish, what they're doing is they're scooting along with their nose when their tail's up out of the water, and they're kicking up crustaceans and shrimp and mud minnows. And primarily right now, what I've been seeing in all these pockets is mud minnows. And so I wanted something that had a contrast that looked a lot like a mud minnow. And then the technique that we're using is to throw it out, let it hit the bottom, and kind of scoot, and then hop it up a little bit to where it looks like a mud minnow that's kind of doing its thing, or it looks like the fish spooked it. So really small paddle tail plastic right there. When they're actively feeding like that, they're pretty aggressive. The rest of the fish I've caught today, I've really needed to fire them up, throw a little scent on them with this Diatrac, but you know, even that fish right there, I had just put a little bit on it. So I think it goes a long ways, adding that little bit of extra sense of realism. So I'm a big fan, or I've been a big fan of attractants my whole life, but it's pretty cool to partner with a company like Diatrac that makes a stimulant. So it really fires them up even when they're not actively feeding like it did earlier. So right now the tide's moving, the fish are biting. Unfortunately, we only got about 30 minutes of daylight left, but we're gonna call it mission accomplished. We call it some redfish, some bluefish, some brown fish, some flatfish. Later on in the week, we'll go catch some greenfish. So it's just gonna be a great week. The ecosystem here and the diversity of wildlife is just phenomenal. So if you haven't done so yet, check out Flagler County, Florida. One of the little hidden gems in the Sunshine State. So you owe it to yourself to check it out. All right, guys, that is going to do it for today. I got to thank this dude right here, and let me give you all a little insight into what was going on today. I had a headache like you read about in Headache Magazine. Actually, I would have been the cover model for Headache Magazine today, so this guy carried the load. When I finally did catch a couple fish, it was like he said, hey, go down there, cast right there, do this, and then he basically caught the fish with my hands. And so this is Joe Komyati. Joe won the KBF Open, Redfish Open here a couple days ago, and is gonna hit the trail next year fishing full time on the kayak fishing tours around the country, around the world. And so man, I can't thank you enough for being with us.
I really
This
appreciate
dude right
it.
here is a solid angler. He gets it, got it for a long time, and is now a North Carolina resident, and is just going to hit the road covering the world. So tell them where they can find you at, man, on social media, and also tell them about your jig company, because I know I'm going to twist your arm to get me a few of them. And
So you guys can find me on social media for Instagram at Not Your Average Angler.
And he is not your average angler, I promise you.
And Joe Komyati on Facebook, and Striker Jigs is the jig company.
And guys, I'll link all that up in the description box below, and I'll also link you up to his website. And like I said, I'll twist his arm into doing some kind of giveaway or something like that down the road. So anyway, Joe, thanks, man.
Thanks.
Be
I
safe on the
appreciate
road,
it.
and
Excellent.
enjoy.
you
Enjoyed
very
every
much.
bit of it. Appreciate you so much. And we're going to go fishing with this guy again real soon, I promise you, because we fish with everybody that wins tournaments. So therefore, we're probably going to have him queued up 3, 4, 5, 6 times in 2020. So all right, man, be
Thanks,
safe.
man.
Thanks, brother.